Post-game festivities commence from Dreamstyle Arena to the Pit. Lobos 93, Green Bay 78. Final. New Mexico improves to 3-0. Green Bay dips to 1-2. We're courtside on Albertsons Radio Row. With the Lobo legend, Hunter Green, I'm Robert Portnoy. Hunter, New Mexico, that little 9-0 run to push the lead out to 18 there in the second half was where they delivered the knockout blow. How did New Mexico finish off a very game Green Bay Phoenix team tonight?
I think it was two things. One, the effort defensively, the ball pressure, especially by J.J. Caldwell. I mean, he was huge for the game. You know, he had 4 steals and very active, handsy, getting in the passing lanes. And I think that's really where they were able to turn it around in the second half.
Let's pause briefly 10 seconds for Station ID on the UNM Sports Radio Network.
This is New Mexico's #1 radio station, 94.5 FM and AM 770. News Radio KKOB, Albuquerque, a Cumulus station.
Lobos 93, Green Bay 78 in Dreamstyle Arena to the Pit. Take the fastest internet to the house with Xfinity X-Fi. Stream the Lobos all season long on every in-home device, no matter where you watch. This is beyond Wi-Fi. This is X-Fi, Xfinity, proud partner of the UNM Lobos. We get a visit from the one and only Snake. Snake came over to say hello during the post game. Yeah. He was pumped to see Gary Colson in the house tonight.
Oh yeah, he was a big fan of Colson, and of course, you know, Snake's been around.
Yeah, he
knows the history here. Yeah,
yep. That was a lot of fun to talk to your old coach on.
Oh yeah, Coach. He's over there now, just taking pics and saying hello to a lot of the folks that have stuck around. And
looks phenomenal, 85.
I'll tell you what, though, he's got a 7 a.m. flight. I'm
half
his age. I can't even get there.
Heck yeah. 93-78. The Lobos win it by 15. What about the performance of Jaquan Lyle tonight?
Yeah, you know, he actually was 2 halves. The first half he had 7 turnovers. In the second half he didn't have 1. And, of course, came on strong, scoring offensively in the second half. And, you know, he's talented. And we knew that as the season started. And he showed that here in the Game 3. He's been able to put up 20 points in the second half. Huge. And he's able to do a number of things, not just score the basketball. He's able to pass, take care, you know, spread the offense. He had 5 assists and 7 turnovers, and those were all in the first half, but was able to turn it around in the second half.
My broadcast partner is Hunter Green. I'm Robert Portnoy. Lobos 93, Green Bay 78 is your final. The thing that and we talked about this during the second half, Hunter, Lyle really cleaned it up, didn't he? Yeah. Because he was frustrated in the first half.
Yeah, he did. And as we just talked about the fact that it was the 2 halves. I mean, first half he was, 7 turnovers, 11 points. Second half, 0 turnovers, 20 points. And that's huge. And he had 5 assists. He's always a threat there. He always can find people. So, and that's the scouting report. This guy, can pass the ball. You got to guard the passing lanes and deny him. And he's able to find a way to produce points, either for his teammates or for himself.
We talked about this during the offseason, and then as camp opened and the Lobos started to get on the court and practice, and you think back to last year's squad, and the shot clock gets to 10, and the shot clock gets to 5, right. And where are they going to get a shot? Yeah. Their top scorer was a catch-and-shoot guy. Mm-hmm. Anthony Mathis was not a creator. Right. He needed someone else to help him get shots.
That's right.
Now, he figured out new ways to get his shot off last year, but it wasn't because he was breaking somebody down off the dribble.
Right. And Jaquan can do that. He can do that at 6'5". He towers over a lot of the guards. He's able to shoot over them, create opportunities, and score as the shot clock winds down.
93-78, the Lobos defeat Green Bay here in Dreamstyle into the Pit to move to 3-0 on the season. This was the first of the Legends Classic for the UNM Lobos. The next comes this weekend on a Saturday here at home when the Lobos will host McNeese State. And, of course, this is all leading up to the Lobos' trip. They will head to Brooklyn, and they'll play in the Barclays Center against Auburn and either Wisconsin or Richmond on back-to-back days, November 25th and November 26th, and I know that you are pumped for that, Hunter.
Oh, yeah. Now, I'm looking forward to that trip, especially, going up against Auburn, right? I mean, this is Final Four team from last year, and it's always exciting to play against tough competition and to go to new places like Brooklyn and the Barclays Center, right?
Just 5 second-half turnovers for the Lobos as a team. Jaquan Lyle had the 7 first half by himself, and it wasn't just Jaquan. The whole team cleaned it up in the second half.
And some of them were unforced turnovers. I mean, there were travels or slip and falls and, just things that they controlled in the second half. They
easily remedied.
Yep.
Best tailgates, they start with the best beef. Make your grub the talk of the tailgate with Rancher's Reserve, USDA Choice All Angus Beef, where it's available at Albertsons Market, of course, where we do beef the best. We are on Albertsons Radio Row here in Dreamstyle Arena, the Pit. Lobos 93, Green Bay 78. And we can take a peek at some of the final numbers in the contest. The Lobos for the game shot 48% from the floor and 41% from 3, 9 of 22. And how about 22 of 28 from the foul line for 79%? Green Bay finished up 40% floor, 30% 3, 10 of 33, and 73% from the line. They only got there 11 times, 8 of 11 from the free throw line. The Lobos dominate the rebounding battle in the end, 47-38. It was tight at half, 23-21. And in the offensive rebounding category, the Lobos 10-9 for Green Bay. New Mexico cleaned that up much better in the second half as well. New Mexico 93, Green Bay 78 final. Post-game show rolls on after this timeout. You listen to Lobo Basketball on the UNM Sports Radio Network. Welcome back inside Dreamstyle Arena, the Pit. New Mexico 93, Green Bay 78 as we come to you from Albertsons Radio Row. With my broadcast partner, Hunter Green, I'm Robert Porter. We're privileged to be joined by Lobo assistant coach Craig Snow and the star of the game tonight, Jaquan Lyle, who goes for 31. Coach Snow, a very clean second half for Jaquan Lyle. 7 first-half turnovers. What did you guys talk about upstairs?
It was more just, I think, him settling into the game. I think early on he came out probably a little earlier than his normal rotation would have been, and just gave him a chance to kind of calm down and settle into it. And I thought from that point on he played phenomenal. It's something where we're still working through. I know all of our guys want to be good every night, and they're so hard on themselves. But, we have to keep in mind he has been out 2 years, and you can't substitute practice for gameplay. And, I felt like he really settled into the game after that first 4-minute stretch, and he was phenomenal down the stretch of the game.
Yeah, we talked about that during the game, and you could see, the pressure, and some of those turnovers were just unforced. I mean, slipping and on the floor, whatever. But you're able to gather yourself in the second half and put it together. Had 20 points in the second half. 0 turnovers, more importantly, 0 turnovers.
How did it feel out there tonight?
It felt good, man. Like Coach Snow said, I think early on I was just too laid back, too cool for the game, and like you said, it was just a lot of unforced turnovers, a lot of slipping. Dude plucked me from behind. It's just stuff that I wasn't really mentally locked in. And, you know what I'm saying, Coach, I trust the coaches. They took me out early, like he said, and, you know what I'm saying, gave me a little pep talk and just had to come back in, you know what I'm saying, execute. My teammates still believed in me. Nobody, you know what I'm saying, got on me. But, you know what I'm saying, we got to keep getting better.
Slow start for Jaquan, and he was frustrated. You could see, but a senior, it turns into a 31-point night. That's a testament to the experience, isn't it?
I think so, and it's also a testament to Green Bay. We had talked about it before the game, like there was going to be a little more weight on the bar, like there was going to be a little more resistance tonight defensively, and I think it took some time for us to kind of adjust to that. I thought they were really aggressive, especially they weren't allowing the ball to get inside as easily as we had maybe in some earlier games. So we had to go to some different looks, but once it settled in, we were able to find a little bit of a groove. But it's still early, and we're still trying to clean up, some of those rough patches. We had a rough patch, I want to say between like the 6 and 4 media in the first half, where it got a little extended, and we got a little fatigued and took some rough shots, and they got some easy ones. And then in the second half, we had a couple rough stretches too. So we're still trying to clean all that up. But I felt like the guys really found a way down the stretch whenever we needed some baskets and we needed some good possessions. They found a way to get it done.
Coach Snow, I know you work a lot with the offense. Did you find yourselves able to kind of get what you wanted offensively? It seemed like, credit to Green Bay, they really played scrappy defensively and didn't allow that post entry. And of course, the Lyle to Bragg's combination, they were taking that away in the first half.
I agree. I think we're starting to get game plans now, right? Like you're starting to get a little bit known, and they were really doing a good job of surrounding our post player on the entry, and they were difficult. And that's something we're gonna have to work on, and just creating maybe a better angle inside to open that up a little bit, and maybe get some other actions in some different areas of the floor. But I thought defensively coming in, we talked about it, pregame as a staff, like their pressure and just their experience. They're seniors and juniors, and they won 21 games last year. And they have the bulk of their team back. Like, we knew that there was going to be some resistance defensively with their aggressiveness and their physicality.
Well, I don't know if it was me or if it was Green Bay's defense, but it seemed like they had called travel on the block 3 or 4 times tonight, which is unusual for.
It's unusual for us, but and in defense of our post guys, I think that tonight was one of those nights where they weren't getting it as much. So when they got it, they were a little rushed. And I mean, I think we can all, I know you can relate to that, Hunter. So it's still focusing on, when you get it, we have to slow down a little bit. Our guys are still talented enough to make a good post move. I just felt like we were a little rushed, and I think some of that was just the flow of the game, maybe going 3 or 4 minutes, not touching it. Then you finally get it, and you're in a little bit of a hurry to make a move. But, overall, I thought our guys, we can pick a lot of things apart. Winning this game in the way we did, and despite seeing, we all see where we can improve. There's glaring improvements in this squad.
We understand.
It's early, and there's glaring places we can improve.
Jaquan, I wanted to ask you, take us back a week ago. It's been 2 years since you've been on court and played with the lights on for real and the ball in play, and they're keeping stats for real. Mm-hmm. 11 dimes that first game out. Were you looking to get the guys involved a little bit the first game out? It seems like you've tried to score a little bit more these last 2.
I think I'm just early on, like you said, I haven't played in 2 years, so there wasn't really no film the first game. So you know what I'm saying? I just took what the defense gave me, and then now I think a lot of people are playing me to pass. So I'm just really trying to take what the defense is giving me, and make plays, whether if it's scoring or shooting, whatever it may be. Just trying to make plays for myself or my teammates.
You went up for the two-hand dunk when you're all by yourself in transition. Were you gassed at that point? Because didn't you ask out after that?
Oh, no, I caught a cramp in my calf muscle. I caught a bad cramp in my calf muscle, but yeah, I expected to get a little bit higher on that dunk, but I didn't.
I was surprised you dunked it. I didn't know you could do that.
Don't let him do you like that.
No, it's still early in the season, like you said. It's still early, but come late December, it'll probably be all layups.
Oh, man. So, Coach, we're focused on 3 things, Coach Snow, and talk about, the turnovers. He wanted to see you guys do a little bit more on the offensive glass. I thought I saw some more of that tonight. He said we hadn't really done any of that. Were those things that were an emphasis coming in, and how did those play out tonight?
Well, I felt like it was probably the best rebounding game we've had, just on the backboard in general. I think CB had 16 rebounds, and the rest of the guys were all, getting some here and there. And I think we ended up with double-digit offensive rebounds, which was positive. And some of that was, I think, maybe in relation to us not getting the ball on the block as much. It's a little harder to get offensive rebounds from a post move than it is from a jump shot. And I think some of that has to do with the way Green Bay guarded us, and it opened up some opportunities for us. But it's been a point of emphasis. We've talked about valuing possessions every day, and we've talked about getting to the offensive glass every day. And I thought the guys have really, what we focused on as a staff, on both sides of the floor, our guys have really bought into, the big points. And I thought they showed some big and significant improvements tonight, especially on the backboard, which was a concern of ours with playing a veteran team.
The flip side of the transition defense, Jaquan, is or the flip side of the turnovers is transition defense. I know that's something that Coach Weir talked about a ton. Do you feel like you guys did a better job of that tonight in terms of you did almost double them up in fast break points?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think we're getting better. I think incorporating the 1-2-2 press to kind of slow them down, I think that really helped us a lot. And it was all on misses and makes, and I think that kind of messed them up a little bit. They didn't know where we were going to be in, and they were scared to throw the ball up the sideline. So I think kudos to the coaches. I think that really helped us a lot.
Jaquan, congratulations on a great night.
Thank you,
Thanks,
thank
man.
you, thank
Coach
you.
Snow,
Thanks a lot, guys.
great to have you
Appreciate
back in
it.
Albuquerque, man.
Appreciate
Craig Snow and Jaquan Lyle, our guests. All right, time for us to take a time out on the postgame show. The Lobos 93-78 winners over Green Bay. Lobo basketball on the UNM Sports Radio Network.
Dear movers and shakers, we know how you roll, and we're with you on the tarmac or terrain in the 2019 RAV4.
Technology Truths, brought to you by Geico.
Technology. 93-78, the final. The Lobos knock off Green Bay in Dreamstyle Arena to the Pit, the game that starts the Legends Classic that ultimately will take the Lobos to the Barclays Center in New Jersey.
You have been.
It is great to have you guys. This is a big win for the Lobos. They defeat Green Bay by 15. My broadcast partner's Hunter Green. We welcome in the Lobo head coach, Paul Weir. Coach Weir, congratulations. A terrific win for your team tonight. What were you most pleased with tonight?
Gosh. Probably Jaquan's second half turnover number.
0.
Take care of the ball.
Exactly,
Yeah.
right? I mean, to hold a team to 40% shooting with 18 turnovers is really hard to do. And once we can get that number down, I think our whole team can just kind of take off. But to have a win like this with, you know, Vance and Zane and some guys just really, you know, having an off night offensively is hard to do. To have key players not have good nights and still come up with a win of kind of that size, it says a lot about the depth of our team, how many other good players we have, the McQuatches, the Carltons, the Coreys, I know Jaquan gets a lot of recognition, but, you know, someone like McQuatch has a great game tonight. You know, Carlton Bragg, 16 rebounds. I mean, there's a lot of other guys chipping in, so if Vance or Zane do have an off night, we still have enough firepower to be okay offensively. We just have to give our defense a chance, which is going to be taking care of the basketball.
Brooklyn's still New York, by the way. That's just on me. Brain hemorrhage there. The Lobos win it by 15. Barclays Center in Brooklyn.
It's not in New Jersey?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, that's totally. I said it. And what did I just say? Okay. So we got that out of the way. So you mentioned three things in our pregame that we talked about. You talked about turnovers, transition defense, and rebounding. Let's circle back to those.
Yep.
How did you feel that your team did in those categories?
You know, I thought we did a really good job. We're trying to get into that zone press to just slow down their transition.
Jaquan mentioned
they're quick, and they get it out, and they go. And then in the middle of the game, we just had some issues of getting from the zone press to our man and getting matched up, and we lost some guys. So then we went back to just kind of a regular man-to-man and kind of matching up. But they come at you, man. They're 8th in the country in tempo. I mean, they run, and they're athletic, and they're versatile, and they don't have a lot of big, so they're trying to run on us, just like the last, two teams we've played have, and that was their game plan, and they got us at times. So transition defense is going to continue to be a mantra for us because teams are going to look at us and just think, most teams are going to think, let's run on these guys. They may have the advantages around the rim, but we've got to take advantage of the speed. So I think the transition defense at times was really good, at times struggled, but that was mostly just our transition, I think, from press to matching up, and we just kind of lost some guys. Rebounding's getting a little bit better on the offensive end. I thought we had some real key ones in the second half when it was kind of an 8 or 9-ish game, and Keith keeps one alive, Corey keeps one alive, and we've got to continue to do that on the chance that we have not just 2 guys have a bad night, but 4 guys have a bad night or 5 guys have a bad night. We've got to continue to get to the offensive backboard and continue to kind of create those second chance opportunities. And then defensively, obviously Carlton was awesome tonight. I thought he did a really good job of cleaning up the boards and helping us at that end of the court.
Coach, it felt like, throughout the game that you guys were playing their game.
Yeah.
So were you comfortable playing that up and down tempo? And
the thing is, we're still trying to run on offense because I believe we have in JJ and Jaquan, 2 really gifted passers, and it's hard to just walk it up every time knowing that they can really find guys. They can find Carlton, who runs to the rim tremendously, and McQuatch, who runs the wings really hard. And we've gotten a lot of transition points in these first couple of games, and I don't want us to get away from that. I still think that's something that could be of real value to us. Are there some times I would have liked, I think we were up 12 first half, throw ahead, Keith McGee 3. I talked to JJ, hey man, time and score, maybe that's not the throw ahead 3. We're on a run, let's put this thing away. We have a few of those, but I'd rather we're running and pushing and attacking than we're kind of slowing down and getting bogged down a little bit.
Because it seemed like, Green Bay's scrappy defensive
For sure.
team took away that post play.
They did, and I thought and I showed them clips right before the game. We watched film before we head out here, and they're a physical team. They're physical on the perimeter, they're physical in the post, and you have to give Green Bay some credit. I thought they really came in saying, we're not going to let it get in there, and when it did, they just swarmed down in there.
I thought for the most part, they took that away.
They were good. I mean, their game plan for us was terrific. It was very well thought out. It was a good strategy and took it away, and we had to obviously adjust as the game went on and find some different sweet spots. But I think if we had some good looks at the basket that I thought if went down would have opened some things up for us, but they didn't go down, so they continued to kind of make some of those other guys make some plays.
J.J. Caldwell, the first game, 4 turnovers. I think he has 1 since then. Beautiful 6-to-1 assist-to-turnover ratio tonight. You talked about his passing, but that's what you're looking for?
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. The biggest thing he's bringing to us right now is he's just got some pop on defense. When he you can see that look in his eye, and it's like, what? It changes the game for us because we need something up front. A lot of our other guys, I love them to death. Defense is not their strong suit. I'd love to get it there, but we need JJ, we need McQuatch, we need Tavian, we need these guys to come in and just give us that jolt of defense.
Especially in the second half.
Exactly. He had one where he gambled and he got beat. But for every one of those, he's got 2 or 3 where he's creating a turnover and kind of giving us something the other way. And I think, again, he's a guy that hasn't played a ton of college basketball. As he gets more and more games under his under his belt, I really think as his career unfolds for the next 2 years, he's going to be really fun to watch, man.
4 steals tonight, and it could have been 1 or 2 more at least. There were a couple knockaways that ended up going out of bounds that the Lobos could have corralled. But we talked about that. What we said, it was the energy.
Yeah.
It's clear that fuels him.
Yep.
And you could see the effect that it had on the rest of the team.
No question. In a different mold, I talk to him all the time. I'm just being a Rajon Rondo type player. I mean, seriously, just get everybody involved, play great defense, be the guy everyone wants to play with, and help us win basketball games.
So the Lobos are 3-0. McNeese coming in this weekend. And overall, as you take the next step, I know you haven't looked ahead, just wanted to get a W tonight. But you feel like you got accomplished what you wanted to get accomplished tonight?
I just told the guys in the locker room, this will be our shortest turnaround time because it is an afternoon game. We got to take care of our bodies. The goal is to come out of the first 4 home games, obviously, with 4 wins in the win column, and we've got to find a way to come out Saturday. I don't know anything about McNeese, but play really hard and continue to kind of grow. I wish growth was always incremental, but sometimes it comes in spurts, and I'm hopeful that I thought the second half turnovers last game meant we were going to go forward, but we're not quite there yet. So we've just got to keep chipping away and growing. And I do want to give this team kind of room. There's such a high ceiling here that I want to give it room to kind of find its way a little bit as well, like I said in the pregame. And I want to keep that process mindset for all of us going into Saturday as well.
Our time is a little tighter in the pregame, and I've wanted to ask this all day. And now that you've got another game behind you with the new staff, I wanted to ask you about that. Coaches McHale and Snow being on the bench with you.
For sure.
And now you've got 3 games with them helping you, manage the 40 minutes and just how it's gone.
Yeah, I think we're getting better each game. I think the fact that we're in the foxhole preparing every day is a little different than sitting around in July talking about whatever. And it's allowed our relationships to grow. And they're both very gifted coaches. They're looking at the game in particular ways and being a great assistance to me and obviously our team as well. So hopefully it'll allow our team to be better, this season.
Congratulations.
Thank you, guys.
All right, the win, Lobos move to 3-0. They defeat Green Bay by the final count of 93-70. That's Lobo head coach Paul Weir. All right, it is time for our Toyota Drive of the Game. Toyota, let's go places. Lobo's second chance opportunity here. Bragg screens for Lyle. Lyle to the key, crossing over. Lyle to the rim, right hand layup is good. Jaquan Lyle with a game-high 16. Lobos by 11. That's a Lyle scoop and score. And he finished with a game-high 31. 9 of 16 floor, 5 of 9 distance, 8 of 8 foul line, 5 boards, all on the defensive end. Lyle had 5 assists, 7 first-half turnovers, 0 second-half turnovers. He would be quick to point out 1 steal. Lobos plus 11 when Lyle was on the floor. That is your Toyota drive of the game.
Yeah, we saw a lot of good things, and we saw, you know what I thought in the second half especially, we saw from some of the players what we expected. Like, kind of, you know, when we said, well, what about this J.J. Caldwell? Well, man, he's tenacious on that man-to-man defense. Well,
and there it was.
And there it was, right? Second half, you know, he was tenacious. And so I thought we saw a lot of what we expected to see in the second half from individuals on the floor. I mean, Carlton Braggs was tremendous. And McQuatch does what he does. And, you know, by taking that charge right there on the block, you know, in the second half, I mean, he just guys stepping up, doing what they're supposed to do and what they're good at.
Carlton Bragg pulling 16 rebounds would fall into that category. Yes. You heard Coach Weir mention Tavian Percy, and you talked about the energy and the defensive presence, 4 points as well that he provided there in the first half.
Oh, no, I mean, no question. As a sophomore, you could see the maturity and the maturation from last year to this year and the work that he's put in all summer. He's going to contribute. Come conference time, you know, he's going to find his way in that rotation and contribute, especially on the defensive end, because he gets after it.
McQuatch Malawatch, everybody, you know, there was some hand-wringing last season because all of his shooting percentages came down, right? Mm-hmm. Well, he made 2 more threes and 2 more tries tonight. He has started the season 5 for 8.
Yeah.
And you said it before the ball even tipped a week ago against Eastern. These 3-point shooters for the Lobos, they're going to get better looks this year.
Yeah. I mean, even though the lines moved back, you've got guards like J.J. Caldwell and Jaquan to be able to
and Zane
spread the floor, penetrate, and find their teammate wide open. All you got to do is set your feet and knock it down.
Final individual numbers for the Lobos. We mentioned Lyles, 31 points. McQuatch Malawatch, 16 points on 6 of 7 field, 2 of 2 distance, 2 of 2 at the foul line. 11 points for Carlton Bragg and a game high, 16 rebounds, 3 offensive. Carlton, 4 of 10 field, 3 of 4 from the charity stripe. 9 points apiece for Zane Martin and Corey Manigault, 3 of 8 and 4 of 5 respectively from the field. And to round out the scoring, 5 points apiece for Keith McGee. Tavian Percy finished with 5 if you throw in the free throw on the end 1. And Vance Jackson had 4. J.J. Caldwell had 3. And a team-high 6 assists and 4 steals. That's going to do it for us. My broadcast partner is Hunter Green. Our producer and engineer is Mike Vitale. On-site engineer is Michael Carlisle. The Lobos will remain home. You heard Coach Weir talk about it. He wants to finish up this stretch 4-0, 4 home games to start the year. The second of 2 home games in the Legends Classic. It'll be McNeese State. That's a 4 p.m. tip-off coming up on Saturday this weekend at 3:30. Pregame, that'll be Jeff Symbieta alongside Hunter Green for you for Hoops this weekend. I will be in Boise with Lobo football. And then New Mexico embarks on that rivalry road trip. Yeah. UTEP and New Mexico State back-to-back. That's going to be fun.
UTEP's tough. I mean, UTEP's got a
15-point home win over the Aggies.
Yeah, and they've got some new players down there. And, of course,
Rodney Terry,
the coach from Fresno State. This is his second year, and so those will be fun. And there'll be some more tests for the Lobos, no question.
New tests,
yes,
for sure, no doubt. That's going to do it for us for the final time, your final score. The Lobos knock off Green Bay in Dream-style Arena the Pit. New Mexico 93, Green Bay 78. So long, everybody. You may have seen the Lobo basketball on the UNM Sports Radio Network.